Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new series of Crusader Kings 3 here on the Lord Master channel. I'm Lord Master, and this series is going to be all about Normandy and the Normans, which is the video series that I've been wanting to do for years, so I thought time is right to finally do it. But first off, I would like to apologize to everybody who has kept up with my Nubia series, which unfortunately I have to say that the series ended prematurely because of the update for Crusader Kings 3 kind of screwed me over, even though that last episode kind of went on a bit of a high note, Nubian Empire and all that. So I guess that's an accomplishment in itself to end it on a high note, even though I would have loved to go on further, but I'll never get that chance now because, when you update something, it breaks game saves, and I'm in no mood to, to do all the things to revert back to older versions, especially that it would involve painstakingly, get all the mods back to the versions to the way it was, so, no need to do that anymore, so I thought, well, let's start a new series, start off something fresh and in a different region, of course. But as you can see, that man in front of you, along with the adventure camp, this new video series will be notable as being that we start off as a landless adventurer. And don't mind that it says Rice East Asia, even though it's East Asia map. Which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, one of the mods that I'm using for this series, and this is just a keep up with the theme and center on that, is that I'm using the even smaller world map mod, which means that areas like Sub-Saharan Africa, Central Asia, India, East Asia and Southeast Asia and all that, not playable. Even the steppes up there, they're just removed from the map. So that way it can be centered on Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. That's it. Especially that I'm doing this video series related to, Normandy, that we wanted to make it a little more Eurocentric series, as far as, where it is. So, anyways, that's why it's in that part of the menu here on the game start. So, I will be playing as Hrolfr, also known as Rollo. The life of Rollo, the first ruler of Normandy, is shrouded in mystery. Some sources claim he was forced into exile from Scandinavia, and though a pagan, was told by God to go to a promised land in Normandy, akin to the legend of Aeneas of Troy. His descendant William would later conquer England in 1066 CE. You may or may not have received a divine mandate from the Christian God to found a new powerful realm in Normandy. Will you heed this call to adventure? So, as I said, this series does not begin in Normandy. It begins with this man. So, he's 20 years old, and his adventure camp is called The Walkers from the North. He's a landless adventurer. He's of Norse culture. He's of the Satru faith. Difficulty is said to be easy, even though I think it might be deceiving as far as I'm concerned from my perspective, because, well, let's just say I do have a strategy before I have to settle down in Normandy Adventure, which may take 2 or possibly 3 episodes before I will finally settle down, because there's a lot of things I want to do and get, especially money. So Rice Flavor Pack Focus is, of course, part of the Normandy Flavor Pack, which has been there for years, so this is why this is relevant. And the North Atlantic one as well, which isn't going to hold relevance because it's not going to be based in Norway, like I did that one series many years ago, or parts of England, Scotland, or even Ireland, or even Iceland for that matter, for the North Atlantic Flavor Pack, which relates to the whole colonization of Greenland thing. I won't get involved in that. Make sure that the Rollo game rules in the correct setting, which of course is referring to, let me scroll down. Yeah, it's a lot to get through. I'm using a lot of mods as well. Here it is. With the Roads to Power DLC, Rollo starts off as an adventurer. Without the DLC, he is a count only if a player chooses to play as him. Otherwise, he's a courtier. And for once, achievements will be available. Which, when I was doing a little bit of practice, I did pick up a few achievements. So perhaps during this video, as the video series progresses, I may pick up a couple more. So let's get to it then. And no, the series does not begin in East Asia. And I'm not doing an East Asian or Southeast Asian playthrough just yet. I'm waiting for more flavor packs to come for later this year and possibly the next year. I may finally do a series in that area. One of these areas. But first, the roads we walk. The path ahead stretches on and on, a lowly winding thread twinning towards the distant horizon. My camp is quiet, just a few scattered tents and pack animals yawning in the breeze. Strangers and hangers-on rise with the day, prepared for the morning chores of reluctance. Most are the miscellaneous shaft that flit in and out of a group on the road with each new settlement. Few faces catch my eyes as ones I recognize, at least more than passing. So you want 2 more followers to skill and martial, or intrigue, or prowess. But given that, we're Norse culture, and, since there's no doubt that Hrolfr was a Viking in his youth, so I said, at least I can count some good scrappers, so get me 2 followers skilled in prowess. You got Hrolfr the Craven, and Verimir. He doesn't have a nickname. This is part of the recent Rice version, St. Patrick. It's 43 flavor packs, and the newest one is male, Heather and You, which these flavor packs focus on adding new flavor for male and the Irish. Male is the earldom over there in Ireland. I'll show you a little later. Although I may travel to Ireland during my adventures. Just, swing by and all that. So here's a quote, even though not relevant to the video series of who we are and where we're at, but still, it's worth a read. Peace better than a successful war. A friend is better than ale. Change is better than destruction. Excerpts from the Maxims of King Hrolfr of Northumbria, a medieval Irish wisdom text. Rollo's tale. They say I had a prophetic dream. In a dream, I heard a great and majestic voice tell me to leave Scandinavia to fulfill my destiny. One of my Christian thralls, Stefan, interpreted the dream. I concluded it was none other than his God giving me a divine mandate. Though I'm not that old, my life's already been quite eventful. Could this be another twist and turn of fate? If I do have a great destiny, perhaps it all began when I was born, years ago. Remember, he's 20 years old. He did say he's not that old, so he's still in the prime of his life. So, where is he from, is Rollo? Is he of Afmor, in the fjords of Norway? So, for historical context, medieval sources posit a variety of contradictory origins for Rollo of Normandy. For example, some claim he was from Denmark and others Norway. However, none were written when he was alive. Snorri Sturluson identified Rollo with a certain Hrolfr the Walker, or Ganga Hrolfr, according to these Icelandic sagas. Rollo was born in Muene in Norway to Jarl Rognvald, Eysteinissen, and the noblewoman Hilda of Hrolfsdotter. Written centuries after Rollo, the sagas are of questionable validity. There are some earlier historians also suggested a Norwegian origin. These include the 11th century historian Goffredo Malaterra in Sicily, who may have been Norman, and the 12th century English historian William of Malmesbury. Or is he from Ethnicities, his hometown in Denmark? This historical context changed down there. A 12th century chronicler, Benoit, claimed in the Chronique de Normandy that Rollo was Danish and born in a town named Vaske. Several locations in Denmark and Norway have been posited to be Vaske, or it could refer to a now abandoned or forgotten settlement. Or was he born somewhere else in Scandinavia? So, once again, the historical context changes. The earliest biographical source for Rollo is the Historia Norman Rollo, written by Norman cleric Dodo of Saint Quentin in the late 10th and early 11th century at the behest of Rollo's descendants, the Dukes of Normandy. Dodo claimed that Rollo was Danish. Though Dodo is highly biased and his work contains many fantastical fabrications, it is closest to Rollo's time. Additionally, Lulu, the close associate of Dukes, may have been known to people who had a living memory of Rollo. And the other is just you skip the adventure and lose the chance to determine his past and gain various bonuses later on. You also lose the aspiration to settle Normandy and gain his associates the bonuses for fulfilling it. So, for the sake of, since he's a landless adventurer, I think he's born somewhere else in Scandinavia. So his dynasty name is now Ganga, which is, walker, wanderer. So there's a possible outcome down below, as you can see. 50% chance you remain where you currently are. 50% chance nothing happens. Well, he's currently based in Skane. So he has gained two things. One is visions of Normandy. Rumor has it that the Christian god has shown Hrolfr visions of a new promised land in northern France, and has given a divine mandate to travel there and embrace the true faith and establish a powerful dynasty in a new homeland. Hrolfr will be prioritized when the decision or interaction to grant Normandy to the Norse is taken, and if AI, he will always accept as long as he meets the other requirements. Certainly, Hrolfr does not need certain prerequisites to do the interaction and negotiate for the mark in Normandy. +1 diplomacy, martial, +3% monthly prestige, minus 10% of the faith conversion cost, and +10 Christian opinion. Because, he's like, he may be a pagan, but he says he has visions of God and he would like to be there. And all that. So, this is for the early part of this video series of this aspiration. Settle in Normandy. Hrolfr has supposedly been given a vision from the Christian god to settle in northern France, to establish a new realm and lead his people to a greater future. Settle in Neustria, which is the old name that later became Normandy, by initiating and or becoming involved in the consolidation of Normandy struggle through any means necessary. The reward is gain 1,000 prestige and receive 1,000 special soldiers. Bonus objectives: convert to a Christian faith, reward 1,000 more piety. Be a ruler of Neustria, 500 more now, and have at least 1,000 gold in your treasury, which the reward is every county in your realm in Normandy gains 1 development. So, that means I'm encouraged to get rich quick. But if you want to have this camp prosper, you gotta have those provisions up, because I'm gonna be doing a lot of traveling. So, again, to clarify, Hrolfr was born somewhere else in Scandinavia. And as a reminder, we're using the Dark Ages mod here. Everybody knows how that is. Anyways, let's continue with his origins. There's no denying that my current concern is a powerful ruler in Denmark, Jarl Sigurd. Sigurd, snake in the eye. Stop. They call him Snake in the Eye, which Travels whisper he bears the Autobots as a blemish in his eye, the eternal symbol of a snake biting its own tail. Few are willing to get close enough to check the veracity of such claims. My family has come into conflict with Sigurd a number of times already, as we balk at his supposed authority. I and those under me do not appreciate his attempts to enforce his power over us and across Scandinavia. My late father, after all, always told me to never bow down to pompous fools who called themselves kings. That's why I'm a venturer. Let's see. But before you pick, read the historical context here. According to Dudo of St. Quentin's Historia Normanorum, the Danish king was antagonistic to Rollo's family. For convenience, the king is Sigurd in this event chain, but Dudo actually leaves him unnamed. So even if the story is true, it's hard to say who Rollo lived under. Several other sources do not even mention Rollo's rivalry with such a king, particularly those that place Rollo's origins elsewhere. Anyways, after betraying a truce between the two sides, the Danish king supposedly killed Gudrun, Rollo's brother, forcing Rollo to leave Denmark. The fact that Rollo, who has a supposedly just cause, had to flee his homeland for a greater destiny to found a new peoples, brings them to the mind of Aeneas of the Aeneid, who similarly is a virtuous man, but he has to flee his homeland for greater destiny, to establish a homeland for the future Romans. Such parallels to the classical mythology abound in those texts. See, if you say, my father's advice was good advice, 33% chance I gain either stubborn or just or ambitious, and I gain 1 diplomacy lifestyle perk. Or say, he killed my brother, it's personal, which is a 33% chance he'll gain vengeful, or just, or wrathful, and gain plus 1 intrigue lifestyle perk. Or people overstate this rivalry, in which I have become either calm, or forgiving, or compassionate. So I gain 1 stewardship lifestyle perk. Well, given who I just picked as my followers, who are more prowess oriented, and because of who we are as a culture, and you know, the crazy that happens out here in this unforgiving land, I'll say he killed my brother. It's personal. So he'll become my rival. So I gained a just trait for this. So for Rollo's dream. I contemplate the dream again, asking Stefan to clarify what he meant when he said God is giving me a divine mandate. So yes, my brother was killed by Jarl Sigurd during a political conflict. That's why we're rivals. Anyways, apparently, so Stefan claims, the dream means that one day I will achieve everlasting glory by embracing the true faith. The dream is merely God's way of guiding me towards fulfilling my destiny, and I need to seek out glory and victory in other lands first. Who are you, by the way? Oh, he's not a Catholic, he's Orthodox Christian of Lach. No wonder why the name Stefan sounded Eastern European rather than Western European. What is an Orthodox Lach doing out here? So anyways, he's healthy, homosexual, master administrator, stubborn, compassionate, wrathful. Well, he's a contradictory figure, as he's an honorable empath. Very compassionate, but somewhat honorable. So he's quick to anger and fury, but he's also merciful and sympathetic. And he does not back down from anything. So I'll probably find your place in the camp somehow. But I do need more followers in my camp, so I'll say stay by my side to help me understand this more. So finally, for this historical context, in the Historia Normanorum, Rollo sails out of Denmark to invade England after he receives the dream, understanding this to be his route to fulfilling the prophecy. Of course, this is likely the aspect of Rollo's life. It is just a fabrication by Dudo of St. Quentin and later writers to retroactively portray Rollo as a righteous pagan who will be guided by God towards salvation and a greater destiny, and in doing so, legitimize the rule of Rollo's descendants. Interestingly, to emphasize this point, Dudo compares Rollo with the Viking warlord Eystein, who is depicted as the treacherous, vile, and bloodthirsty foil to Rollo. I mean, we don't see each other eye to eye, especially that your culture, Vlach, are strong believers. You're tended to be zealous, and you're also, oh no, they're communal. Which again, the Vlach culture is formed for a woman and an unknown culture of South Slavic heritage in the year 600. So they're strong believers, but they're rather xenophilic. They have no negative opinion towards other cultures, including me, a Norseman. So that's fine. You may not like my religion, but you don't have a negative opinion towards my culture and our way of understanding. You and I are going to get along one day. Stand by me. And look at the clothes you wear now. Alright. So relations damage between Ganga and Seguda. So yeah, he's my rival, and it's only a matter of time before he kicks me out of the country. So I'll be back in a moment. Alright. First things first. Lifestyle. He'll be a gallant man, what it appears to be. But given that he's a man of martial, we have to give him this. Even though, unlike many other Landless Adventurer playthroughs that well, not necessarily playthroughs, but within a playthrough when I did Landless Adventurer Pass, such as one I did in Sicily, the other in the Manichaean series, where it was more focused on, it's like, okay, let me go conquer another part of the land. This one, well, it will be different. It's more about explore the entirety of Scandinavia that I want to start off first before I go to the British Isles and explore there, and then settle down in Normandy. Try to make a lot of money, get a lot of provisions, and when I'm ready to settle down, get the men-at-arms regiments. I will not do any mercenary work, which is something that I did in past playthroughs that contains Landless gameplay. But it doesn't hurt to get a couple more perks related to these. Especially those that you might need before you settle down. And as for intrigue, well, I'm a just character, so I won't do any torture. And fabricate hook scheme. Although fabricating hooks is an unjust thing. I want you to bear in mind that his perks, he is arrogant, so he has no problem with his sense of worth. He's also brave, virtuous in the Masatru faith. It does add popular opinion and advantage, and he's also just. And he's also a cautious leader. That's the commander trait he started off with. But he's also a Viking, so he's a well-known plunderer of foreign settlements. So, yes, he was a Viking in his younger years until nowadays. And he's also strong. I mean, it's not inheritable, but he is physically. There's alignment, as you can see. I mean, everything looks good to me. Especially the knight's part. Although I could do a little more on the outlaw's part. Get it up to there while I reduce the other. Gotta balance things, Oh boy. And when I'm landed, I'll be sure to give it to the clergy. do I really want to go that route? Again, you are just scared to... If I were you, just take this for more fertility. Or faster stuff. I think seduce faster. I mean, if you want, you know, turn that bad in an instant rather than having more fertility. I mean, you got concubines, and if you want to have children in a hurry just to start your dynasty, well, screw it. Get this then. And of course, I'll be gaining experience as a wanderer since I do have that mod where you gain XP at each barony you travel. Keep that well in mind. I have 8 followers. They're all Norse. Plus 1 Vlach Orthodox man. Don't have much reputation as of yet, nor the experience. Don't have the agenda. And don't know what the inner circle's like yet. It's only first day of the as being an adventurer right now, so. Another thing I want to start with. Manage campaign alignment. Select this social shot to begin exchanging favors. Annually increasing their respective trade experience by 5 and a total of 25 over 5 years. While slightly reducing others by 1 for a total of 5 due to discontent. Every year the trade experience of the favored social strata will increase more than 1 social strata benefit at the same time. Prestige costs double for each simultaneously active campaign. Very well then. Select a social strata to begin exchanging favors. You're here. Negotiate agreements with known criminals. This is just for prowess. I wanted to get it up there. So the next 5 years, I will navigate the shadowy world of intrigue and subterfuge by dealing with criminal factions. This does not affect me as a just character. It will not give me stress. This is a entirely separate thing. Keep that one in mind. And before you do anything else, I want you to name some followers. None of you guys are qualified to be personal physician. My second will be Vedmunda. Oh yes, that man I met. Just an ordinary tribesman. Yeah, obese. Glad I brought you along, so you'll be my second. Second is the most trusted officer at the camp, aiding the leader as next in command. They're responsible for orders and organization in the leader's absence. So this gives me all skills, but it's +2 based on average. Don't have a mistress. I'm sure you could do better. Aha! Here's a job for you, Stefan. Paymaster. The Paymaster takes care of all the day-to-day financial and organizational aspects of running a traveling camp or mercenary company, like paying out wages. So you'll gain a little bit more opinion towards me. +2 stewardship and a little bit of a monthly income for this. That. Well, none of you guys are good at anything, but if I were to pick one man to be my caravan master, it's gonna have to be you. I'm placing my full trust on you. And perhaps you'll improve over time. And of course, name 2 bodyguards. Hopefully we'll find someone else better. Let's go gather provisions first, just for starters. Just like an army, a camp marches on its stomach. If needs must, the wilds of Scandinavia may be combed for fat. Please, not another ship again. Stepping outside my camp, I surveyed the surrounding farmlands, seeking any sign of game or fodder. While there are plenty of mushrooms, roots, and berries to be found around Scandinavia, this is no hunter's paradise. There's nary hair to be seen. With my snares, I shall feed us all. Foraging is affected by terrain and winter severity. Very effective in farmlands, forests, hills, plains, oases, and floodplains. You're in farmlands. Somewhat effective in dryland mountains, jungle, woodland, steppe. Not effective in deserts, but desert mountains, I'll tell you. Since I got pretty good prowess, 39% chance I may bring much food, 47% to bring food, 9% nothing, 3% I get hurt. Nothing! Damn it! Okay. It's not the end of the world here. You only just got started. So. Let me text. I'll go to this place in a moment. But first, let's visit the tribal holding. No man is an island. Let's visit the local tribal holding in Lund. Let's see what is in store for us. I'll get the opportunity to listen to exotic stories or recruit followers, buy provisions, sell artifacts, peruse contracts. That ought to be interesting. The local Norse people regularly gather in the tribal holding of Lund in order to trade, gossip, and share stories. As I enter the cluster of dwellings, a stray sheep is slowly moving across the path at the center of the holding, and a small squirrel sleepily moves through the foliage a few paces to my right. My follower, Magnus, looks around with a content face, simply enjoying the change in scenery. We should mingle with the locals at the tavern. The tavern, gathering travelers and local Norse alike, is brimming with activity. The storyteller is seated by a fire, and a bit further in up front, a gathering of shabby chums are pestering the cellar for more spiced wine. Magnus looks around the jumbled individual with a twinkle in his eye. I wouldn't mind hearing a story or two. And then, the great Leviathan destroyed the world a 5th time, dying in the process. From her body sprang new land, plants, and animals. But that story is for another time. The story gives me a mysterious sound and leads, making this fireplace seat and takes another sip of spiced wine. Kinda don't need that right now. But I'll say, none of this. How do you tell stories so well? I'm willing to pay gold to tell me the reason. Just want to pick up this trait, and then you'll pick up wit. You gotta do that frequently. Because it's +1 diplomacy, monthly lifestyle experience, and then more monthly lifestyle experience and diplomacy, and army movement speed when you're in command. A day tells the stories linger in my head. I walk back to the side of a noisier common room. On my right, Magnus grins appreciatively as a peasant finishes a crude joke involving several bodily fluids. I shoot him a surprised look as I wait what to do next. I think I know a certain someone who often talks about bodily fluids. Inquire with the employed tribespeople. Just want to have a look. Approaching the crew of unemployed Norse, I raise my voice and address them directly. I am looking for some skilled, reliable people to join my camp. Who among you are up for that task? The interested parties introduce themselves as Orkney, the ambitious, Alfreda, the guileless, and the cocky. Magnus Humson. Here's the prospects as I consider which candidate to recruit. Well, it doesn't matter what skills you have. They're all expensive. So on second thought, I return to the dwelling entrance. As I make my way back on the recruits, I catch an enticing scent of bowls from the stew being prepared in the kitchen. Further ahead, Magnus falls to a small jig as a dwelling of troubadour wraps up a local folk song. I leisurely observe the dance and ponder what's next on my agenda. Head back. Back at the Commons, a domesticated wolf hobbles over to enthusiastically greet an innocent bypasser, leading quite a commotion. Albeit freezing temperatures, there is no wind. The holding has an eerie crispness to it, as all living things snap comments breathe out smoky white plumes of heat. I was thinking of something else. Moving away from the holding entrance, I walk along the narrow path, some dilapidated tents to the adjoining open space. Ahead of me lies the path to the supplies merchants and artifact peddlers. And over yonder I also spot what looks like a tribes elder, milling about in the distance. Supplies are this way. From turnips to fabrics, firewood and sewing thread, the supply merchant Rikiza has it all. The stalls filled to the brim of whatever one might need for the nights in the wilds. I move a bit closer to draw her attention. She lights up as she looks at me with a friendly smile. What you need? Magnus cracks his knuckles and looks at me discreetly, nodding in the direction of the supplies, mumbling, care to make a distraction? I do not have thick gold, but Master challenge against herself. I can take the supplies or the entire stall. Your call, I say. It does not gain stress, even though it sounds like it is an unjust thing to do, so this is intimidation. So 73% chance I successfully intimidate her and give me some provisions. 23% chance that she sees through my anti-dress and increase the cost. Or 3% chance that guards are summoned and they'll beat me up for it. Got it. Back at this part of the comments, decidedly less people around. A handful of children are petting a donkey, peacefully gracing halfway to the elder posting. The noise and loud battering at the nearby supply stalls echo all the way to here, giving the comments a hectic feel. The elder might have something for us. The elder, Gorma, looks at me with a friendly gaze as I approach. Prudently tending to an ox cart, he informs me of any local issues or tasks that needs addressing in mini vicinity. Discreet experts required for lucrative opportunities. Adventurers wanted for a treasure hunt. A treasure hunt, you say? A treasure map contract. Wait, before I get out of here and check that out. This part of the comments is somewhat turned chillier now, and people have either returned to their dwellings or moved to other places only. Magnus, who's starting to look wary, he says, I'm not one to complain, but sure we're done here now, Legion. Yes, let's head back. Returning to the comments, we're greeted by a local butcher, emptying his waste out back to feed his guard dogs. Soon to be dark again. The Norse scurry around the dim light of day, intended to perform all the tasks that become unavailable after sundown. We're done here. Back to the camp it is. The treasure of a lifetime. The retired treasure hunter, Gida, needs help locating one final elusive hoard. This will remain valid as long as you have the treasure map in your possession. Qualified success. Pay 50 gold to me. Lose stress. This would put you above your provisions capacity as additional to 50. Would be sold at the local market for 12 gold and gain more provisions. Well, provisions is what I need. Tell me. Take it. One that got away. Gita walks up to me and pats my shoulder. Such a good lad. I truly appreciate your aid during this final excursion. She hands over the tattered treasure map. The wrinkles around her eyes softening as she smiles. It may not look like much, but I wrestled with Loki himself to obtain this. Treat it with care. Pausing for a moment and let the words sink in. The old woman then cackles. Whenever you're ready, we have a treasure to dig up. I'll get to it soon, because there's a contract over there nearby that I would like to go get. Hunt criminals over in the island of Bornholm. I would like to go over there first. Tiny bit of prestige gain in the meantime. And also, where does this treasure take me? In Sombio. Sombio. Oh, that's in Sami land. In Sapmi. Also known as Lapland to Scandinavian peoples and English speakers. Especially that the term Lapland and Lap or Lappish people is kind of depreciated these days, as they prefer to be called by their native names up there. Travel across the country to Sombio. I'll do that after I hunt criminals there. Travelers near Bornholm, be on the lookout for renegades and reprobates haunting the back roads. If your sword arm is strong and your eye true, Chieftain Holmgar promises generous rewards in exchange for the head of a particular thug. Pay me 52 gold. Give me more provisions. And by the way, since I'm a just character, this would be right, because doing criminal contracts, that's an unjust thing. So no get-rich-quick schemes. Bring me his head. This band of Jeta wrinkles his nose distastefully. Malcontents have been harassing my private estates. They burn, kill, and steal with near impunity, slipping away before my retainers can clap them in irons. They so richly deserve. I nod. The gang must be slippery to warrant such proud bounty. Their leader is one Reti the Strong. Bring me his head before he can slip away for good, and you'll have your payment. Reti the Strong, a Finnish man. A small group travels faster. So this means we'll be trying to... First encounter will be there. Potential second encounter over there. And potential third over there. Right. Let's go hunt that Finn down. Paymaster position vacated. I'm gonna have to put you back, or I'm gonna ask someone else to do it since you're caravan master. As I travel along the road, I notice a frail-looking peasant standing on the side of the path. As I inspect him more closely, he appears to be holding a small bundle. Please, hold a moment. Times have been tough since my spouse passed, and I'm at my wit's end. Would you be interested in buying my child? Though it pains me deeply. I cannot afford to keep him, and must sell him to save what is left of my family. His name is Balda. Blind and ill. You're drunk, and your child is blind. I will make sure he's cared for. I mean, it would be a just thing to do. We first meet Reti the Strong in the rolling plains of Bornholm. The walkers from the north have spread out towards around in his own little band of ne'er-do-wells. All of us tense and ready for bloodshed. One must have been stroking his chin. I'd expected more, if I'm honest. Clearly the good chieftain's budget is suffering. So, shall we? The moon bounces a knife edge. If I don't act, someone else will. Everything will slip through beyond my control. Duel to the death? Signal an ambush? So, you have 0. The 2 required victory points for success. This counters up to 0 to 3. So, for my martial challenge against him, 9, 17. But the prowess, not quite sure what he'll be like, but he might do some rather deceitful things. I have no troops, unless you want to duel him to death and get him right here, right now. Have at thee, Carol. After a few brief moments, Reti and I pace in lazy half-circle, each watching for an opening. I heft my axe, ready to defend myself, while I clutch his sword firmly in the hand. Only one of us is walking in here today, and I intended to be me. With a sudden twitch, our bout begins. Reti's retorts carefully calculated, waiting for precisely the right point to reply with several quick slashes of his sword. Methinks I need to make an example of you. So, because I'm a Viking, I have that trait. So, butchery. Make show of a cruel skills as a raider. So I gain plus 10 dread. I can't count how many people I've cut down in my axe. Maybe Reti will be next, maybe not. But my rain of savage blows must have him worried about it. And then perhaps the defensive stance, doing his absolute best to ward me off. A man's eyes is following my every movement. My form is good, with only small errors. His stance is passable. We're evenly matched, with victory balancing on the knife edge. Go for Esperanza. Strike! Parry! Riposte! Throw out a flurry of rapid strikes and counters. I leap into action, launching a flurry of quick slashes, driving myself hard against his guard, wearing him down with each expertly timed strike. He shifts his defense stance, his sword forming a damned near impenetrable wall of perfect parries in between me and him. My form is good, with only small errors. His stance is formidable. My opponent is reeling for me, with victory so close that I can practically taste it. Confident attack. I'll show you how I heft an axe. It's a confident attack. With skill and poise, I make a series of well-placed strikes. My axe flows around him like water, with each strike changing fluidly into the next. A series of perfectly timed strikes. Redtail suddenly shifts direction, throwing himself sideways into a powerful cleave that I'm just barely able to dodge. My form is excellent, with little chance for mistake. His stance is formidable. I have my opponent on the back foot, but I still need to consolidate my victory. This is sudden death now. So, let's do it again. A grim smile curls my lips as I launch into a blistering series of powerful cleaves, each strike putting more focus on pain than victory. Bit by bit, Redtail's spirit breaks, each lick of agony ripping away at any sense of stalwart prowess he might have tried to retain. I break him down to a quivering mess, screaming and gushing blood into the dust. Even for me, adventuring, enough is enough. A final quick slash hastens his demise significantly, but not too significantly. Goodbye, Redtail. Criminal scum. I toss his severed, Redtail's strong severed head to Chieftain Holmgar's agent, the purple red meat landing wetly beside him. You killed him in single combat? My, how fierce, remarks the chieftain's servant, gesturdly handing over a pay at the same time. Words are of little consequence, but the delicious weight of a fat purse and its cargo of silver help make our little hunt thoroughly worthwhile. A job well done. As we pass through the market in Tomarup, we hear a loud yell and stumble to an ongoing tussle between two men, tightly observed by a group of people. The crowd cheers profusely as one was swept off his face planted somberly in the dirt, thus concluding the match. Who's next? A man yells to the crowd and his eyes land on our group. At my side, Vedmuna snorts in response to the challenge. I will do it, I just won a duel. And I did win again in the wrestling contest. Giving them more provisions intensive. Slightly. Want to have a baggage train. Find more officers using Scout for talent. Unlocks the head porter officer. And receives more transport contracts. Transport contracts means more reward with money and provisions. Give me it. It'll take 8 months, 10 months. Improve ruler reputation. Diplomacy scheme. Well, there's a problem. Diplomacy isn't really our thing. And we're gonna need a new paymaster. But hey, by the time we get up to Sapmi country, it'll be summer. So it would be wise to go hunt for this treasure now. Oh, and go fishing. Everyone deserves a break sometimes. Take a moment and cast your line at the waterbank at noon, and let the worries of the world float downstream. Who knows, there might be something in it for you. As I'm making my way down to the bank of water, the scent of salt and fish fills my nose. A couple of people are finishing up, leaving the entire shoreline for me to use. A day like this doesn't come every day, and I should make the most of it. My bodyguard Ramona decided to join me today. An opportunity to connect, present itself, or I could choose to fish alone. A day of relaxation awaits. He's 100%. So I'll just say the water's beckoned to me and me alone. I'll spend some time alone, reflecting. I inhale deeply and exhale as I cast my line into the water. The hook lands of a quiet plump, and the world goes silent. My vision wanders along the shoreline, having a moment to process my thoughts. Life as an adventurer is not at all bad, but there's no life is without stress. I close my eyes for a moment of rest, and I'm suddenly jerked awake by something pulling the fishbowl out of my hands. Grab firm and pull. Nothing bites. It's like, see, there's still snow up there, but some of that's clearing up already. Well, there's still a lot of snow up there, but it'll be all gone by the time we get there. So hopefully it makes travel easier. Oh, I forgot. Determine personal deity. It is not uncommon for Truants to single out one among the gods. This suits a particular taste and aims in life for special attention. I should contemplate these divine beings and decide which one calls to me the most. Dedicate your worship to a particular god. The gods are many and inscrutable. Yet, I cannot say there are not some who hold a level special appeal for me. Were I to dedicate myself openly to express the worship of primarily one such deity, I would doubtless draw like-minded souls to my side. Whatever the blessings my patron provides, being with similar Truants would only bring me health, wealth, and glory. Thor, friend of humanity. His favorite god is Thor, god of protection, storms, humanity, and strength. +2 stewardship, while +3 prowess. Well, my stewardship is poor, but it's a little better now. So maybe I should look into doing more stewardship related things, along with some martial. Nothing's come up as of yet. Let's go excavate treasure. The treasure map is coupled with a tired adventurer's final plea. I am getting old, and my body is failing. Find this elusive treasure and bring it back to me. My time is running short. So we'll be headed to... oh gosh. How do you say it? Savres Yarul. It's in Sami language. Northern Sami language of that place name. Just travel without camp because we need the provisions for doing anything else. Let's see what we can find. So is it easier to travel by boat than back? Well, see to if you can scout for talent. Enables events to recruit wanderers for gold if you have open positions for officers. And purchase the wilderness kit because, you know, the forests out there are not to be trifled with. But I'm a little wary about traveling the sea, so I want you to actually make a landing here or instead we can go overland. I'm going to want to explore the finished part too before we go up to there. It's going to be lots of traveling, but and hopefully we can find some town along the way. That's the reason. You're not going to find much talent if you're looking for them out at sea, so it's better to stay on land. Oh, I might even move my camp to Finland one day. And Karelea and travel around it. That's gonna be my intent early on. Ready? Let's go. There shouldn't be too much danger. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I also am using this mod called Regional Travel Events, which I have not used that mod since the Zunbil series, and it has been updated to include more regions with travel events, including Scandinavia, Eastern Europe, Persian Empire, India, and they also have events in the Middle East and North Africa, areas of the Holy Roman Empire, all those areas. So, let me take a drink before we read. The Forest Glassblowers. A strange glow draws your attention off the forest path. Not firelight exactly, but something more intense, more purposeful. Following it, you discover a clearing where craftsmen work around a roaring furnace built of stone and clay. Heat is staggering even at a distance. Halfdan, the master glassblower, notices your arrival and wipes the sweat from his brow with a soot-blackened cloth. Before him, an apprentice holds a long iron pipe with a glob of molten glass at its end, glowing like captured sunlight. With practiced movements, the master shapes it into a delicate vessel of impossible beauty. Travelers, come, warm yourselves. I suspect you'll find it warm enough already, he laughed, revealing a teeth stained by years of working near the furnace. Care to try your hand at the art? Or perhaps commission something? A glass of smiling is prized from here to Constantinople. I forgot what's the Norse name for Constantinople. They have a name for it. It's been so long ago. And by the way, each time you get these events, you have active traveler. For the 30 days was recently involved in the regional travel. This is to reduce the spam each time you do the travel. So they give it a month break before you may get into another one. It can be adjusted in the game rules. I set it on low, which I know it says for 30 days, but in the game rules setting, I set it to 45 days with a 70% chance of nothing happening, with a 30% chance events like these pop up. Oh, that takes way too long. Let me give it a try. Show me how it's done. I would learn this art. 40% chance of natural time. On the half-done spatial guidance, you produce a small but serviceable glass bead. It's rough compared to the masterwork, but it's yours, shaped by your own breath and hands. Glass blow nods prudently and gives you proper pieces of memento. Gain a little bit of stewardship by self experience. Or 60% chance of shattered dreams. Heat is overwhelming and the timing is possible to judge. You attempt to collapse to a misshape above that cracks as it cools. Half-done patch shows concern. It takes years, friend. Years. So show me how it's done. Natural talent, I got it. Alright. That's good. Very good. So I guess Rollo's got it. I come across a man passing, well, damn it! I came across a man while passing through Albo. He is pleasant and folds his arms. I'm tired of getting kicked around like a dog. No one respects me here. Everyone laughs as soon as half-down is uttered. Fools, vampots, ogres. Ah, I get so mad I must get out of here. Wait a minute, aren't you the same half-done? I mean, I know I didn't look you up, but that beard and hat, that is the same guy we met. Huh, my skills will serve you well. Shall we discuss payment? By the way, the event took place on the 7th of February, and 2 days later, there he is. He'll be a good stooge. Now, a stooge is unlocks special options events and unlocks Humiliate the Stooge. A stooge is an involuntary focus of the camp's irritation and cruel humor. The maltreatment is a great source of morale and origins of the risible fireside yarns. So we went from a glass galore to the stooge. That's kind of a bit of a downgrade, is it not? But he is brave, but yeah. We can have a stooge. Come along with us. For he is an ordinary tribesman and a middleman's supporter. He is a supporter of the middleman's faction, a lesser-known agent who gathers and disseminates information for the faction. They're not yet entrusted with critical intelligence, and their efforts are often overshadowed by their more experienced information brokers. Despite their low influence, they maintain a keen interest in unraveling secrets and gathering crucial data for the faction's benefit. Yeah, we had to spend provisions, not money, to get that man in. Even though he taught me the art of, crafting. The army of Kinda. Well, they're on their way to the Sons of Lobrook invasion of Northumberland. The Orn Ironside. Meanwhile, an opposing man is staying on the road ahead of us. I have Godrulda of Moira. I have bested dozens of men in combat, and honestly all those fights were dull. So here I am, on this road, looking for someone better than me, someone I can learn from. If you could best me in combat, I'll become a valuable and loyal servant, and so on this day, I demand to meet one of you in a fair fight. Oh, I'm a brave man, so you might be less valuable after I win. 88% chance that I'll beat him, and he joins. 11% chance that he beats me, and I get wounded. Damn, we would like to have him in our ranks. Win the fight. Welcome. Traveling through these sometimes harsh environments has invigorating effects, at least on my state of mind and vigor. As I glance over Arnbjorn, he already does not to be doing quite as good. His movement is labored, his breathing and spontaneous bursts of coughing ripple through his body. Clearly he is not well. We don't have a physician, so I'd say we should let him rest and fully recover, so we'll be waiting here for 21 days before we can get moving again. Spring is here, and the snow and ice is broken up. Avestra Abbey rises from the mist like a dream of stone and prayer. The Cistercian monks who dwell here have built something magnificent. Vaulted ceilings, graceful arches, and gardens that would not shame a king. Yet as I enter secret shelter for the night, I sense an unease amongst the brothers. Bergen, the guest master, welcomes you with distracted courtesy. When you press him, he admits the trouble. The ghost of Queen Ovid, the wife of King Sveka, who was murdered here decades ago, has been seen walking around the cloisters. The monks have doubled their prayers, but the apparition persists. She appears at Vespers, the monk whispers, drifting through the chapter house of a muff, open a silent scream. Some brothers have fled, others refuse to sleep. We're at our wits' end. Through the window I see the sun beginning to set. The Vespers will begin within an hour. Oh, Norse Christian. Well, at this time of 867 AD, we know that Christianity has not fully established in Norway and Sweden yet, and same for Denmark. But I'm sure there are a few isolated Christians operating in Scandinavia in secret, so it's kind of odd to see one here. I shall attend Vespers to see this ghost myself. I'm a brave man. 50-50. So I'll gain prestige regardless, but I may gain or lose stress. Empty vigil. I watch until my eyes ache, but nothing supernatural manifests. The monks seem almost disappointed. Perhaps they want a validation of their fears. Or perhaps the ghost knew better than to appear before a skeptical observer, like me. As we continue through Hamakanda, my eye catches an elaborately decorated tomb amidst a network of common graves. The tomb appears to be cracked open, and just within its mouth I see the glimmer of some unknown treasure. None but my party should be around. Surely whoever once owned the contents of this tomb would not cast judgment on me for taking what would go otherwise unused. I'm sure nobody will notice, but you ought to be careful. It's a crime. Yep, got caught. Yep, you get out of his realm. Even though we're traveling, I don't plan on staying there for long. Oof! I find myself making such noises when sitting down at a campfire in the evening now. The elders always talk about how that happens when you get older, but I'm only 20. No, such is the wear and tear of a life lived rough. I could see it takes toll on others too. Half down once is a bit as he slumps down next to me. Damn. I do need a price, so that inn we passed had many spare beds. Hopefully during our travels we could get the money back. As we sit by the campfire after a long day, a group of travelers approaches us in the dark. They look like a gaggle of lost pilgrims, led by a haggard-looking man. Despite my first impression, I noticed that they're all carrying valuables of some kind or another. Please, master, can we please be allowed to rest by a campfire? We've been on a long journey. Here's a way to get your money back, even though it's unjust, but you lose all the piety. But I'll say, just say, come, enjoy a campfire and tell us of your travels. A little bit of prestige is better than none. Pass through the Temple of Uppsala. The Temple of Uppsala serves as a religious center for large parts of Scandinavia. A sacred tree stands near the temple, next to a well, similar to that of the legendary you're gonna address it. It's entering. Oh, hold on. Lost in the cave. The cave we found while traveling was comfortably large, good for camping overnight. When we woke to the next morning, however, Ragnar was missing. That's Ragnar, my bodyguard, not Ragnar Lodbrok. Those belongings were still there at the camp. We worriedly searched the area, wondering if he got lost in the morning stroll or while bathing in a nearby stream. To our relief, he showed up an hour later, from deep inside the caverns, to our surprise. Sorry about that, he apologized, taking his seat on the ground by the ashes of the campfire to catch up. When I woke up at dawn, I saw a small figure deep inside the cave. Had the brightest eyes. I'll call out to them, but they ran away. So I followed them into the cave. There was no one there to begin with. Perhaps my sleep-deprived mind mistook my shadow for a person. I swear the eye seemed real, though. That was clearly something. Let's leave this place soon. Let's have slightly safer travel. We're soon entering to the Åland Island. Åland, that's how it's pronounced, I remember. Åland. And entering Finland. Finland proper. Oh. Now Sigurd's edict of expulsion cancels and notifies any of all contracts you were taken or might have taken in the Earldom. Does that mean our treasure hunt is at an end? Consider yourself warned. You and your ilk have outstayed your welcome this time. If you do not take your camp elsewhere, you now shall be forced to consider a fugitive and make you leave. This is serious. He could imprison me. Well, he can't imprison me now because I'm traveling. I guess that means that treasure hunt is probably null and void. But anyways, deep in the primeval Finnish forest, my party stumbles upon a strange sight in a small clearing. A bear's skull rests upon a wooden platform, adorned with ribbons and surrounded by offerings, dried berries, honey, as small card figures. The bones have been arranged with obvious care and reverence. Bidmuna makes a sign against evil. What's your local guide? Hilvi. He approaches the shrine with visible respect. The bear feast, she explains quietly. When a bear is killed, its spirit must be set back to the sky with honor, or will never allow itself to be hunted again. This one was feasted and sung to its rest. The ancient ritual site excludes a palpable atmosphere. Whether sacred or sinister depends on entirely your perspective. The four seeds press closer, watching. $5 gold. You know what? Leave an offering. We shouldn't anger the spirits of this place. Maybe. So, but however, my learning skill is not the best. I was thinking about taking that option, but then I remembered. Now look, I tended to be arrogant now and again. But I don't have any reason, don't have any stress, so I'll just say, out of curiosity, tell me more about this bear cult. Hilvi explains that the bear is considered a sacred ancestor, a being of immense power that chose to give its flesh to humans. Elaborate funeral rites to ensure its spirit returns to the heavens, or will be reborn. You gain insight to a faith far older than any church, or temple in this case, in all respect. A holy tree. I'm told that nature is venerated here in Rikala as an extension of the will of the gods. We watch as the locals adorn an old tree in fine materials and jewelry as they're recording it. Many of my entourage are satisfied to watch from a distance, but I feel compelled to do something more. Fascinating. Stefan is in charge of our food supplies. She revealed our provisions are now all but useless, have been poorly stored. Patches of mold cover the bread and produce, and we have quickly used up our remaining dried food. The party grows hungry as dusk begins to fall. Hell. It's just a bit of mold. Okay, here's what just picked up now. United for mutual gains. As chieftain, I'm supported by a faction within my tribe that shares similar interests and visions. We're bound together, working in harmony to advance our mutual interests. Inevitable clash of interests. However, not all my fellow tribes see eye to eye with me. There's a group of opposing interests that challenges my leadership. They believe in a different path for our tribe, and a warring way of life. From a young age, I've been immersed in the art of war and battle. As chieftain, my experiences in local wars and skirmishes have honed my war tactics and strategies, earning both respect and fear. Here's what they have. Mystic support. This character is supported by enigmatic witches, powerful mystics, and seers who align with this character due to shared beliefs and spiritual connections. The mystics view this character as an agent of destiny and protector of their sacred knowledge. In return, the mystics offer their arcane wisdom, divination skills, and magic rituals that could guide the tribe through tumultuous times and grant them an edge over their adversaries. Learning +3, plus 15 more fertility. Small health boost. Life expectancy increased 4 years. There's also Warlord's opposition. This character faces opposition from the Warlords, battle-hardened respected warriors who disagree with this character's approach to warfare. The Warlords, seeking more control and autonomy over the tribe's military forces, view this character's leadership as weak and misguided. They believe their own battle-proven strategies and campaigns will be more effective in assuring the tribe's dominance and prosperity. So, my marshal's been reduced, -3, -1 knight, -15% knight effectiveness. Rallying star. Hailing from an honorable lineage, this warlord is revered by their peers as a celestial leader due to their upbringing in a culture that values martial prowess and leadership. They inspire their troops to their presence, potentially turning the tide of battle into their favor through rallying words and skilled maneuvering. Advantage against co-religionists +4. Supply durations reduced a bit. Here's my reputation now. I'm pretty reliable, hospitable, office conformity, a little bit of amusement. It reflects the perception and status of the camp through the eyes and tails of visitors, travelers, and bards. So it's determined by the adventurer's skills and by the officers and knights and followers' skills, personality traits, and also their opinion about you. Okay. Vulnerable to plagues. We need to fix that somehow, but there are ways. Average educational level of your followers. Yeah, my treasure hunting contract is gone. Now I'm just exploring. Explore in the wilderness and hopefully find some talent. Long before I see tar burning pits, I smell them. A thick, acrid scent that coats my throat and stings my eyes. Through the haze, I make out a mass of earthen mounds, smoldering with carefully controlled fires. Each one slowly transforming pine wood that's a black tar that keeps ships seaworthy across the New World. Overhaul, the pitmaster, approaches with a face blackened by soot and a grin that flashes white. Welcome to Osterbotnia's wealth travel. Osterbotnia is a Norse-Swedish name of the place. In Finland it's called Ponyama, so he would say, welcome to Ponyama's wealth traveler. This tar goes to Novgorod, to Stockholm, even to the great shipyards of the south. Without us, half of the world's fleets would rot and sink. Workers tend to smoking pits with practiced care. Too much air and the wood burns to ash. Too little and the tar won't flow. It's a delicate art and clearly a lucrative one. At least my stewardship has improved, but not the learning. So, tell me about the tar making process. Overhaul explains that the careful layering of pine, the slow burn, the channels that guide the tar into collection pits. You get any appreciation for this humble but essential industry that keeps navies afloat. A little bit more learning. Industrial secrets. Gunnar the Clueless. Oi. Provisions upkeep for a small camp is straightforward. The camp requires a constant supply of basic food items such as bread, dried meats, and foraged vegetables. Tracking and managing these needs is an easy task. You lose 75 provisions. Exchanging flavors. Hiding in plain sight. I send my followers to help local outlaws blend into society by providing them with a fake noble family and a convincing alibi. The nobility was outraged, fearing that these criminals would infiltrate their households and pose a threat to their power or influence. Here's your outlaws experience. The rhythmic ring of hammer on steel draws to a small forge on the village outskirts. Inside, Ture, a weathered smith with forearms like oak branches, works on a blade no longer than my hand, but one of exquisite quality. Poka, he says, holding up a knife for inspection. The blade gleams with a pattern like flowing water. The handle carved from a curly birch. Every man in Osterbotnia carries one from childhood. Its tool, weapon, and honor all in one. The workshop walls display dozens of these distinctive knives, each unique, with each a small masterpiece. The smith's reputation is clearly spread far, for other travelers wait patiently for his work. Well, I'm a brave man, and this will help me give him a shot. I'll say, Such small blades. Are they truly useful for fighting? Because I carry an axe to combat. Who that laughs and demonstrates a knife fighting stance is with frightening speed. A pulko has killed more men than any sword in these lands. Never underestimate it. I revise you considerably. Sizes and everything. So you learn something here. Now you're in Sami country. Now I'm considered a fugitive. And there's a disease out there. Sami boil. Crap! We can't be traveling these lands. You know I'm vulnerable to plague. We gotta change our destination right now. Alright, once you arrive, I want you to go down to Karalea. And then, you just travel through Karalea. And just take a boat. I am not taking a risk by traveling overland. Yeah, a little bit of this side too. It's a minor, but it looks big. So I'm a fugitive, but I'm out in the wilderness, so ain't nobody gonna catch me while I'm traveling. While I'm traveling in Sami country. Nowadays sits cross-legged on a reindeer hide, eyes closed, swaying gently to a rhythm only he can hear. Before him lies a runbomb, a drum of sacred birch painted with the symbols of the cosmos in red alder juice. Hunters have gathered to seek the shaman's blessing before their expedition. Velvet begins to beat the drum, slowly at first, then faster. The sound pulses through me, making my heartbeat match its rhythm. A small bone rings placed on the drum service begins to dance and jump. Their movements supposedly revealing messages from the spirit world. As the tempo increases, nowadays chanting grow louder, and the words in a language older than any I know. The watching Sami lean forward intently, reading meaning every twitch of rings, every note of song. You're witnessing something sacred, or perhaps something that only seems sacred. Either way, it is memorable. Me and my bad diplomacy. Don't like to gamble. I'll just watch in respectful silence till the ritual ends. I stand perfectly still as the trance deepens, a drum beat quickens, and nowadays seems to depart from this world entirely. When he finally returns, opening eyes that seem to see things beyond mortal ken, you feel I have witnessed something genuine. Just an honored witness. Riding a little cluster of tents as I leave my pavilion, I come across a gaggle of followers having dinner around a small hearth. Curiously, both Stefan and Trevidi are among them. Neither particularly enjoy his company. Before I have time to ponder such strange quicker seating, he mutters something inaudible. Only for the whisper to send Stefan to a blind rage. One flash, a weapon is drawn, and blood about to be spilled. Hey, intervene. Some blows are thrown regardless. They beat each other up. I come across a man while passing through the kid. He's brash and crosses his arms as I approach. Mother Earth be with you. I'm Ravekimi, the resident healer and herbalist. Oh yeah, we've met. Locals turn to me to treat to whatever ails them. Broken bones, rashes, I even deliver children from time to time. My passion for health and the humors fill me with wanderlust, and I desire to explore. I would be willing to join your camp, he continues. A few coins will be enough to lure me away from this place. Well, he's average. Okay, I only paid for food clothes. That'll be the last time, but we do need a good physician. We don't want the poor, but an average will do. Welcome aboard. It seems our caravan has become a little lost in these foreign lands. Stefan has been trailing us around Kordak for hours. I swallowed his pride and asked for directions. He does not appear to be an expert Sami speaker. Well, neither am I. Let me try. 59% chance we progress. 41% chance we get delayed. Oh, we successfully interpreted. A pleasant stroll through the Layavaz Tiger makes me really appreciate the landscape around us. The luminous green. Saturated as a lady's dress made of the finest fabric. The rays of the sun filter through the canopy as liquid ichor. A vibrant smell, perhaps a campfire. I turn around to my entourage. I observe the caravan master Stefan's livid face. Fire! He screams, pointing at not so distant plains where Grotto's been trapped. I'll save him myself. 43% chance he gets rescued. 56% chance that I rescue with great difficulty. 0% chance that I die. I've been wounded, but I'm healed now that we have a physician of Sami origin. Your provisions are low. Be aware. Now look, he may not like me because Mystics opposition versus Mystics support, cultural acceptance, and among other things, so you may want to keep an eye on that man. It would be best if you just sway him. A happy camp means happier cooperation. My path through the tundra brings me a particular formation. A large boulder balanced impossibly atop a smaller stone, as if placed there by giants in ages past. The rock is smeared of old grease and surrounded by offerings, antler fragments, small bones, and scraps of hide. Your Sami guide, Yansa, halts the party at respectful distance that this is the Saidi, the sacred stone where the spirits of the land dwell. The guide's voice drops to a whisper as he describes how travelers who show proper respect are blessed with safe passage, while those who defile the stone invite terrible misfortune. Half done. My stooge sits uncomfortably, clearly uncertain how to proceed. The wind picks up for a moment. The stone seems to have almost the hum of an ancient presence, though sure that's merely the wind through the rocks. As a just man, I'll say, fascinating. The Sami have preserved their old beliefs admirably. I express genuine interest in the Sami traditions, asking respectful questions about the Saide and its significance. My guide, touched by my open-mindedness, shares stories of the land spirits that his people have venerated for generations. I leave with a deeper understanding of these northern peoples. A hermit. A grotto emerges from vegetation like a stone-arched cathedral. On its entry, a small wooden table and a stall. Someone has left a lantern burning it. Careful, master. Stefan holds his arm up in front of my chest. There are bandits in these lands. You are quick to make accusations, dimly illuminated. Figure stands at the entrance to the cave. I'm merely a hermit. And you, well, you carry the title of the master. Lama is her name. How fortunate. Please tell me about my future. The hermit takes a second before replying. She gets up and waits until I fall. There are some herbs scattered around in what seems to be a rudimentary bed. She turns to me when we're away from entourage with an oddly deeper voice replies, The water shall pass, but you won't. How insightful. Again, zombie pagan. I'll remember this. Water shall pass, I won't. Will this relate to on my boat trip back? Baggage train's complete. All he needs is a head porter. Move your cursed tent, damn it, Bobby. This is my spot, cries Gunnar, just out of my evening walk. Bobby seems unmoved, simply folding his arms across his chest. If it can't be your spot, it's got my tent up on it now, can it? He snarks back. That's for higher authority. Cannot whisper around you. Master Hrolfr, please, I beg you, discipline this wretch. Out of practicality, I'll side with him because I'm trying to increase his opinion. So I got a hook on him. So whatever I have, I may need. Path takes you to a rocky outcrop deep in the Carolean forest, where massive boulders rise from the earth like the bones of giants. Faraday suddenly stops, refusing to go for it. Hisse, he whispers, making a sound against evil. A sacred place, or cursed, depending on who you ask. The old gods dwell here. Some leave offerings for their favor. Others say only the dark spirits remain. I see evidence of both beliefs. Offerings of food and cloth hang from the trees, but someone has also carved Christian crosses onto the bark. The air feels heavy here, watchful, birds have fallen silent. Ragnar says, something's watching us. Let's see. Knowing him, since he's both brave and arrogant, he'll say, I fear nothing that lurks in the trees and shadows. I swagger through the sacred grove, loudly proclaiming my lack of fear. Nothing tangible responds to my bravado, but Ragnar swears they heard laughter among the stones. Bold passage. Evate, the wolf boy. As we travel through the wildlands of Sojavi, I find myself with a distinct feeling of being watched, hiding. Though poorly, I see a frail, dirty boy watching our entourage. A member of our caravan informs me that the locals say that these lands are haunted by someone they call Evate, who is said to be raised far away from the human society by a wolf. Apparently, the poor creatures have taken a fascination with us and even started to speak some basic Norse, though not in meaningful proficiency. Son of wolves. What is a Norse boy doing out here in Carolia? I'll train him. I'll train a boy. The village hunters return from the forest in triumph, their prize suspended from a carrying pole. A massive boar that must weigh as much as 2 men. Well, what might catch my eye are the dogs that trot alongside them. Compact, powerfully built animals with distinctive black and white coats and an air of fearless confidence. Valede, hunt leader, notices my interest. Carolean bear dogs, he says proudly, scratching behind his windows. They'll chase anything. Boar, elk, even bear. No fear in them at all. This one, indicates a scarred veteran, has faced down 3 bears and lived. The dog regards your intelligent eyes, sizes you up as a potential threat or ally. Its puppies tumble nearby, showing the bold spirit of their breed. Oh yeah, look at him. Brave, arrogant, 100% proud, so he'll say, a dog that hunts bears? I must test its courage myself. 100% chance for mutual respect. I approach the veteran dog confidently, letting it smell your hand. As something bearing in your bearing earns its respect. It licks your palms and wags its tail. Vale looks impressed. The Witch of Onega. Onega is a land of strange and obscure custom to me. The spirit of the Monaskal faith are strange and unimaginably different from the Satru, and nowhere is more apparent than their attitude towards the practice of magic. Right in the middle of the town, there's a woman chanting incantations and offering blessings as if she were a Godi. It is strange to me, but the people appear positively jubilant in her presence. Anastasia, that's a Christian Greek sounding name. As far as I'm concerned, in our religion, witchcraft is criminal. But for her, which she's clearly a lunatic, No doubt. Theirs is accepted. I'll say, they must be made to understand that witchcraft is a sin. And I want a debate. I come across a man while passing through. He's under strange and scoffs loud as I approach. Greetings, my name is Sosoi. I'm a porter. I like to claim that I carry all of them on my back. Haha. I package and transport all manner of objects, pottery, foodstuffs, weapons, you name it. Take mercy upon poor useless me, because I'll do anything for a coin. I'll even empty the latrines with a smile. How good are you? Terrible. Hit the road, you useless swine. We come across a toll here, later, and my entourage prepared to pay for passage. There was nothing extraordinary about this toll, as the right of any ruler, or adventurer like me, to levy tolls, and to ostensibly have the funds to pay for protected travelers. The guards, however, seem to be a rather friendly lot. Not to say that all guards are terrible people, but typically even the good ones are more dutiful and serious, gregarious, and talkative like this. Nothing much happens here. God kept it as well. My entourage pays to go. So we're honored to have you, an esteemed master like yourself, pass through, my lord. Tell you what, I'll give word to the next tolls up the road and remind her to treat you with respect you deserve. Thank you, I'm honored. I guess everybody's heard of me during my travels. Tell you what, you seem like a good sort. If you want to pay as much to cross this bridge here. Since setting out from Scandinavia a year ago, I've seen the highs and lows, reveled in the wind blowing through my hair, and lamented the rocks in my boots. There's so many places, so many things I've yet to see out there on the open road. I feel free of the confinement of camp, if only for a little while. The roads are full of pilgrims and wanderers. Perhaps it's even among them that I will find peace of mind. Out here, I'm truly free. Picked up the traveler trait now. Winter's gone. Leaving Karalea. A figure stumbles to camp, dirty and tired, in need of a squirman. His name is Sosoi, says. Oh, don't tell me that's the same man from earlier. Sosoi, the insane. They're more like me, they just saw this. Always left the road of every petty conflict ends. Our sword arms work as well as ever. All wants to wander and starve. Warrior one's life who won't rob the vulnerable of food and values. His eyes got determination despite his agony. I'd rather died. I won't have a lunatic in my camp. So I'll say, come, sit, cover, eat. We have no choice but to get out of the country. Low provisions and all. The sea is calm and forgiving today. Still as a boulder and a powerful wind at our back to boot. It'll be an easy day for the rowers below. I spot a bank of corpse, a ship buried nose first, some jagged rocks just ahead. There doesn't appear to be any survivors, and the rocks would be no trivial thing to navigate. I feel compelled to go investigate this mysterious wreck. Let's investigate. A survivor. Much to my surprise, I begin to hear a voice hailing as our ships approach the wreckage. The man appears to be a wealthy noble floating around on the remains of a door. Hell, I thought I would never see another soul again before the sea would claim me, as did my companions. He introduced himself as Iha. He claims to be the noble from the chiefdom of Vamana and offered to pay safe passage to the company. In Estonian. Well, we're by the Estonian coast, including Saaremaa. Yeah, give me your money. Join us in our travels. I don't care how good you are. The seas are thick with mist, rocks and waves materializing and vanishing in the blink of an eye. A monstrous silhouette appears on the horizon. All seems calm until a great beast peeks out of the fog in plain view. A ship filled to the brim with ragged bandits and thieves approaches us. With toothless grins, eager to lay their salty fingers on our riches. Holy crap. We'll fight them off. 61% chance that we'll get these bastards. 38% chance I get wounded, 0% chance I get killed by Ake here. I've been defeated, wounded, and lost money. Damn pirates. I'm stirred from my relaxed trip across the great blue sea by a sudden shriek. I sprint to the stores below deck, and I'm horrified to find a seagull inside of shredded remains of our supplies. Its feathers stretched thin against its foul, bloated belly. In my rage, I could have killed that repugnant winged menace right there, but I'm stopped by my physician, Badve. Hark! Stay your hand. Don't you know it's bad luck to kill a bird at sea? Nothing will stop me from killing this blasted bird. My superstitions were abated. Good meal. A bird ate many of the spies these travellers were depending on. Thankfully, the spies are made with great stuffing for a roast bird. You have to flee to there. Man overboard! And choppy waters are enough to make any experienced sailor seasick. As we roll back and forth on the waves, the people on the ship are slowly moving to seek shelter below. I know it's half down looking over the railing before trying to make his way on the whole deck. Before anyone has time to react, the ship hurls sideways and he falls into the water. Not my stooge. We need to save him. 85% chance that the screw scout away as it saves him. 30% chance it saves all of them with engine full. 11% chance he drowns. Save. I notice Bob avoids me more than usual. He always sits the opposite end of the table when invited to a feast. He consistently refuses my company while camping. We may not have the best situations, but that attitude is starting to tire me. Especially when I overhear him defaming me. Hrolfr's a miserable coxcomb. I'd be a way better master than him. I'm getting tired of your bullshit right now. You want to know how it is? I'll show you. Leaves the town travel entourage to travel camp. We hope for a better physician in the far future. Get out! We stand on the road slightly too long and the sun's starting to dip below the horizon. Out of the surrounding terrain, shapes start to merge and form, angry-looking armed figures. This air road is a toll. Pay up, says the biggest and frankly ugliest of the bunch. My caravan master, Stefan, steps over weapons raised, looks me direction. Tolls her visits, and I'm a master. I come across a woman while past her town up. She shies and blushes upward. Odin be with you. I am Kraka, a resident healer and herbalist of Townrup. Locals turn to me to treat what ails them. Broken bones, rashes, and even deliver children from time to time. Passion for wealth and humans fills me with wanderlust. I desire to explore. Take mercy upon more useless girls. I'll do anything for you. Simply delight. Oh no, you're terrible. And plus, we don't have enough. The inn we stayed at Scandinavia was horrible, to say the least. Something about the quality of its bedding and atmosphere did not sit well with many of us, myself included. When we tried to sleep last night, we ride onwards today. Everyone in my entourage is visibly tired and exhausted. I'm sorry, we have to bear with it. We must leave before they imprison me. I can invite him as a guest. But that beating, may, like, what if I compliment you? No, that's arrogant of you. Just say, hey, listen, Uh, yeah, he moves to stay at my camp as a guest. But if you want to recruit him, you have to pay up a little bit. And I have a much higher opinion towards you, and maybe we'll reconcile. But first, we must leave to the border, so we'll be out of his hair and realm. Go, go. Later, begins Magnus. I couldn't help but notice we were about halfway through our provisions. Should we start reducing our rations? Even better, pile up the stop to stock up. It's not an emergency yet, but these kind of situations don't need long to take a turn for the worse. A simple delay, we'll find ourselves forced to eat the soles of our boots. Stop fretting, it's gonna be fine. We're trying to get out of here. Any nearby contracts? There are no contracts. But there is one holding up here we can visit. Starvation event may occur. Come on, go, go. And then once we're there, try to steal fruit. We're here. Okay. Butcher animals if need be, but you do not have a pet, or anybody's pets, or a horse, or anything like that. Foolish. Can't afford it, but I try to steal some. We got it. Now look for contract. The elder sits slumped on his chair, half asleep. There are no available contracts in this area at the moment. Huh. That's it, I guess. Well, in the meantime, let me hear a little story. Just a little bit of diplomacy. Who's that person? I'm intently observing the fix, sitting herself down at a nearby table. The dwelling owner calls it. Manner, named Nate. She looks puzzled as I approach her. Possibly because my internal turmoil is clear as day on my face. Why would this bother me? I'm Master Hrolfr of the Walkers of the North, damn it! I keep reminding myself of recent conscience in order to remain calm. I'm mostly failing. You could potentially be useful. So, aside from stealing hearts, what else do you do? She's charmed by my advances, and she joins the camp. All right. When I leave her company, she resumes chatting a couple of friendly tribes of people. Excuse me. She resumes chatting a couple of friendly tribes of peoples. Watch a little tent. All right, let's get out of here. I mean, yeah, it's another mouth to feed and all that, but I got no contracts. Wait a minute. Isn't there a... Hey. No valid contracts. Damn. But can you at least give me some provisions for the road? He's too far away. Shit. Because he's from down there. Travel little, okay? Next settlement is up there. So head to that. Travel little by little until a contract pops up. The forest path grows darker as ancient pines close overhead, blocking what little winter light remains. It's July. Our party's been traveling uneasy signs when Bercy, the charcoal burner, encountered a smoking stack, grabs your arm with his soot blackened fingers. Don't go that way after dark, he hisses, genuine terror in his eyes. Close and walks these woods. A sow size of a horse, with eyes burned like burning coals, and a back like a roll of razors. It runs between a man's legs and splits him clean in two. He shudders violently. I've seen what's left of those who didn't believe. The Sound of echoes through the trees. Something between a grunt and a scream. Horse stamp, never say. Charcoal burners fire offers one for light. But the path ahead is sort of surely, of course, it's just a peasant superstition, isn't it? I'll hunt this beast and mount its head on my wall. 50-50. I track the sounds of the dark forest, spear ready. What I find is a massive wild boar, the largest I've ever seen, with bristles like iron spikes. Whether it's a legendary ghost or merely its inspiration, I bring it down after a fierce struggle. A charcoal burner weeps with relief as I drag the carcass back. Aha! There's no two ways about it. Whether from weather, terrain, overloading, or simple bad luck, somehow these got into the camp's pack animals. They moan, they bray, they walk. It's all growing slower and more sluggish by the hour. Never mind the day. Some of the horses have clear fevers. One of the older males looks ready to die. A dire threat if it spreads any further. Oh, hell. We could distribute our gear till they recover. Disease spreads to the herd, so we travel slower then. Ah, here's a contract. Fight corruption. I'm willing to do anything. Curs and cudgels. Upland suffers from rampant bandits, serious officials, and panicky peasants. I'm willing to keep them, all of them, in mind will be rewarded. I'm willing to work for food and money. Chief then recovers of Ostergotland. Upland's marshal visits my encampment for the day. As soon as we are left alone, he begins to mutter. It is embarrassing to admit, but I need your help at dealing with the disobedient peasants of Upland. Marshal Huffson blows. They flout their Jarl's authority. I can't keep them in control. They beat and humiliate anyone I send. Dare me to come in full force. Their conduct is a black mark. One that stains all the realm. Let me deal with them. Oh, wait. Is that disease still out there? Or is that gone? Because you know that whole travel idea says there used to be zombie boils. I think it's gone now. Okay. And I don't think it ever went that way, that far. So I'll be heading to Uppsala then. Oh yeah, you got severely injured in it earlier, but you're feeling fine. You're feeling fresh and all that. Anyways, let's go. And I'm not spending money for wilderness kit. You gotta earn your keep. Have we seen that massive tree before? I swear we're going in circles, my kind of Stefan shouts. Perhaps he is right. We've seen no sign of getting out of this forest in hours. Are we still in Kinda? The dense tree cover makes it impossible to tell the time of day, or even the direction we're heading. At this rate, we'll never make it up. Well, I know exactly where we are. Struggle to find a correct path, so lots of delays. Lost the provision. My followers arranged secret safe houses in the woods for poachers, providing them with shelter and escape routes. The knights, however, were furious, seeing this as a direct attack on their duty to protect the forest and enforce the law, undermining their authority. The Cathedral of Linkoping. The great Cathedral of Linkoping rises from the Ostergotha plains like a stone prayer-given form. Even unfinished, it dominates the landscape. Twin towers reach it toward the heaven. Walls are dressed limestone that glow in the golden afternoon sun. The sound of hammers and chisels rings through the air as the masons work on the intricate facades. Hrolfr, the cathedral, the canon in black robes, notices my party, admires the construction, and approaches with a welcoming song. God's house grows day by day, it says proudly. Would you care to see the work up close? Welcome to pilgrims and patrons alike. Above the main entrance, stone masons are carving a parade of gargoyles, demons and beasts frozen in stone, meant to ward off evil and channel rainwater away from the sacred walls. One craftsman pauses his work to wave, his face white with stone dust. You're Catholic, right? Yeah. Tell me that the Crusader built such wonders, I'm willing to gamble, just to get for a little bit of stewardship I saw experience. Secrets of the Guild. It kind of speaks of the Mason Lodges, secretive brotherhoods, who pass their knowledge from master to apprentice, who speaks in codes and signs, who travel from cathedral to cathedral across Christendom. A hidden world within a world. Stefan. Damn. Can't afford to lose more provisions. Are you good at anything? Just average. Hit the road, useless witch. I want that man back. Padre. Hopefully you earned my forgiveness after the way I've been acting lately. It was, you know, because we need you to treat our wounds and everything. So, there's no one better. And I can't afford to get another to replace. Since you're here. I'd rather have someone else be the head porter. Oh God, Stefan! No! I can't afford to pay the toll. Stefan, he's been brutally mauled. Critical health penalty. Oh. He's broken and is clinging to life. He could die. Why did I make him caravan master? And look at you, you're a novice physician. You're treating him. And treat yourself of your wounds too. When you arrive at Upland, quick to round up the worst of the rabble rousers and demand the expenses. Scully, a peasant of some reputation, speaks up for the rest. It is our place to be ruled over, but Jarl Bjorn does so unjustly. With Chaos driving on, we can hardly hold on to what's ours. He still drives us to labor him like workhorses. We toil about any promise of safety from war, maladies, and the like. Exceptional success, failure. Just this once. Silence your people or die, peasant. No longer the paymaster. Because he's joined the court. When a clamorous ordeal of bending, each peasant leader to my will is complete. Once more to the road. Chief Enrichment of Scotland speaks his next destination. We shall go to Normandie. For better or worse, the local mobs are of great concern. They organize themselves into militias, becoming they're terrorized by outlaws. The whole region is becoming one vast and subordinate host. Actually, I'm done with the problems. Just give me the money and the food. Alright? Just willing to work for food. That's my attitude. Work for food. We're swaying, so things are getting better. Olmburg rises on the shores of Lake Vatan like a sleeping giant. Its forested slopes shrouded in the morning mist. The locals call it the Queen of the Mountains, though it is more hill than peak. Yet there's something undeniably regal about its presence. The way it dominates the landscape, the caves that honeycombs its flanks, the ancient forest that's never known an axe. Helgi, an elderly shepherd grazing his flock at the mountain's base, warns against climbing too high. A giant sleep in those caves, he says, quite seriously. And the mist has gone the way of travelers, leading travelers astray. Many have gone up and never come down. Above you, the mist swirls in pots, offering tantalizing glimpses of the summit. Something about this place calls the spirit, or perhaps it is just the wind. I'll climb the summit, see myself 100%. I'll push through the mist, ignoring the shepherd's warnings. Climb is treacherous but manageable. When I break through the fog of the summit, the lake steals my breath. Lake VIET stretches to the horizon. As waters are possible to feel like a king surveying the mountain. A man of unusual skills. After we traveled together for a while, I've noticed there's something just about me. He also helps others with small wounds and scratches, putting together small pots like one knows nothing. When he passed through Gribbo, I see him suddenly run to a small peasant kid struggling to breathe and turning an unnatural cut up in the back alley. And before you know it, the kid's face returns to normal. How did he do it? Good question. How did he do it? As he's a novice physician. How do you know so much about ailments and disease? I just can't do it. Serpent! As we travel through the jungle, we stop at tracks for a short break. Many venture forth and look for a source of food or water, while others rest in the shaded trees. I observe Gunnar forage and unrush. All of a sudden he jumps back over the cry. He's been bit by a viper. Eventually, the serpent releases its fangs from its victim. It's clear that the venom's taken its toll. He's a skilled healer. Let him do it. Stefan, have you treated his wounds? Successful wound treatment, but he's not out of the woods yet. Perhaps we need a replacement of a caravan master. Because clearly you are not fit. You'll do. And I'm putting you back as paymaster. Any new contracts? Nope. No contracts. 50-50. You got it! Still more food. Things are slowly returning back to normal. Get me roaring campfire. Because max arm men-at-arms regiments. This is for the future. Need more men-at-arms regiments so I could bring them with me to the future of the settlement of Normandy. That would later be called. But there is much work to be done here. So, let's travel to Upland. It won't cost as much provisions, but hopefully in a place like this we could find some work. As we trek through Scandinavia, our caravan is stopped at a clearing bordered by dense undergrowth. I proceed towards the commercial identifying Gita in Vimunda, having an irate voice. I have no more of your idiots, say you miserable ogre. Gita snaps her foot in the air. You're the one who's right on this territory. Screen, are we there yet? At every crossroads we went towards. Sorry to make amends. Leaves the entourage, not the camp, just the entourage. After we camped somewhere in the wilderness here for the night, we were blessed by the most spectacular vision, an aurora. High above us, the night sky, which had been the purest of darkness, been transformed to one of vibrant colors. Light curtains of raised sunshine of all sorts of colors. They upped across the horizon, dazzling us with a magnificent display. Simply amazing. We all got that modifier. Oh no! Not the Christian, who succumbed to his wounds. Fire again. I'll savor myself. And I get wounded. but I'm all better now. He was a good paymaster. But he was wounded one too many times. Let's switch to camp purpose. Go for explorers, because this will make travel speed much faster. See, traveling by sea is less dangerous, like that one time we were attacked by pirates. Finds more transport contracts, more diplomacy and intrigue, slightly more martial. Yeah, I want to do more of that. Ah, here we go. Transport contracts. Escort emissary, escort emissary. Okay. Valiant soldiers of fortune. A noble envoy achieved and needs protection from bandits and accidents. I welcome the aid of experienced travelers. This will not earn me provisions, but money is the priority now. A delegation of chief that Soviet of Einvenama saunders through the flaps of my great tent. Greetings, adventurer, speaks Envoy. Many roads in this world. There are many roads in the world and treacherous. If you work for Einvenama, my liege would pay well for your expertise. I, chiefess of Einvenama, the most loyal servant of the chieftain, is his words that must carry to Olvila, to the hall of the high chieftain Ihala, not to fall prey to prying eyes. No need to travel with the camp, just get to there, okay? Smoke rises from the great long house ahead. Carried a rich set of roasting pork and fresh baked bread. A local chieftain, Bodva, has heard of your travels and extended ancient hospitality north. The city of our maiden horn and a roof against a bit of cold. The long house is a magnificent and rustic way. Carved dragon heads guard the entrance, and inside a massive fire pit illuminates tapestries depicting Viking raids and legendary heroes. Warriors and farmers alike crowd the benches, their faces ready with drink and firelight. Skull tunes in his lyre in the corner, preparing to earn his keep with songs of the gods and battles. Bodva rises as you enter, lifting a golden drinking horn, and welcome. A guest is sacred to the gods, he declares. Tonight, you are family. I'm arrogant and brave, and I say, your meat is weak. In my land, we drink real spirits. Respect with boldness. The hall falls sign of my boast, and Bodva throws back his head and laughs. A guess of a fire in the belly, he roars. He's over the strongest served brought out. The nights become a blur, but I won their respect. So we get a bit of delay for about 5 days. Rocks! I hear abilities, start to panic. Sit there out here, loud crackers on, like that of wood breaking. Or my pace trying to stand. I step into the mud and see the splintered remains of a wagon wheel. My wagon wheel. I'm sorry, my leader. It was my turn as lookout, and I fell asleep at the reins. Sighed loudly while heaving the wagon off the ground, because I'm strong. Greetings, my name is Felicity. Porta. Terrible. Hit the road. The market town of Ostem was full of wonderful food. As we decide what to eat, we met a talkative butcher named Gunnar, who told us a scary encounter he had last night. While walking home carrying a couple of bones and his butcher's knife, he met 2 wolves who clearly want to kill and eat him. He threw the bones at the wolves to distract them, but the wolves continued to follow him. So he hid in a pile of hay in a field nearby. The wolves waited for him until one grew bored and left. The other fell asleep. He pounced on the sleeping wolf, killing him with his knife. Then he saw the other wolf dragon digging a hole further away. I realized the sleeping wolf pretended to sleep to lure him, so the other could attack him from behind. The butcher then killed the second wolf and escaped. This is me being arrogant, but I say, I don't think they sounded that scary. Anybody could have done that. For some historical context, this event is inspired by the tale from the Qing Dynasty collection of supernatural stories, Lazai Zihi. This tale revolves around a butcher's various attempts to be rid of the two wolves who were out to kill him. These days, it's even commonly taught in Chinese schools thanks to its relative simplicity and its clear message about a person's determination and cunning, even in difficult circumstances. But around here, in Scandinavia, it doesn't sound out of place. Now, Lazai, sometimes translated in English as Strange Tales from a Chinese Studio. Collection of hundreds of short stories by Qing Dynasty writer Pu Songling, 1640-1715. They are considered to be the epitome of the so-called Tales of the Strange, a popular literary genre in East Asia that dealt with the supernatural, akin to the Gothic genre in Western literature. Pu Songling supernatural stories include epic stories about revenge and history, grisly horror tales about ghosts, comical satires about society and the government, heartfelt romances, even simpler, almost brief, news-like accounts of unusual phenomena, and more. His stories were a great influence on later Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and Vietnamese literature, and remain popular in Asia to this day. Interesting. Another man leaves the entourage. Not the camp. The village elder, a weathered man named Hara, approaches your party with an unexpected invitation, just towards a low wooded building set apart from the others. Smoke seeping through its turf roof, with walls like breath breathed from a sleepy giant. Breath. Your Honor us of your presence, he says in halting words. Sal Sana is ready. The smoke Sana. It cleanses not just the body, but the spirit. Many travelers fear it, but those who enter emerge renewed. The heat radiating from the structure is palpable even from inside. You could glimpse the glow of the heated stones and thick clouds of aromatic smoke. My companions exchange uncertain glances. This finished custom is unlike anything in most southern lands. I accept your hospitality. Show me this cleansing ritual. 100% trial by fire. The heat is staggering. Smoke thick enough to choke, but I endure. I emerge hours later, skin tingling, mind clear, feeling genuinely purified. The villagers nod with newfound respect. It's been snowing for the past few days, and the cold is unbearable. I look around to see and I try to struggle as well. So I travel on foot alongside him. After we walk through the snowstorm for another hour, Chiefess pulls me aside, shaking my lips. Please, my host, I cannot feel my ear anymore. A little closer to the ear, dears. The tip covered in ice is a bit swollen. They could get worse if I don't do anything. He knows how to treat it. Mild frostbite. Got rid of it. Good. Press on. A little forced to tense is pulling itself up every few evenings, something we've gotten very, very good at as of late. At first, one, then another, with people and tools spreading down lines to help their neighbors, the motto of speed and efficiency. Even Ragnar and Gunnar, who are generally known for moving in the same circle, quietly humming along as they hate each other. Good to see these two are getting on. I'm brought before High Chieftain Ihala himself. You have come at my acquaintance, Chieftain Solvi's behest, no? On what business? Just my steps forward. Where be High Chieftain? I speak for Chieftain Solvi, but the message I bear is fit for your ears alone. Come, answers the High Chieftain, darkly. We shall speak in my chambers, Hrolfr. Your service is noted. You may remain as a guest of my tribe. I should head back to my camp now. Thank you very much. Sangre cantale. As evening falls over the Finnish wilderness, I hear a sound unlike any other. Strings plucked in haunting melodies that seem to rise from the very earth. Falling to music, I find an old man seated on a fallen log, his fingers lancing across a strange instrument. A flat, wing-shaped wooden harp with perhaps a dozen strings. Kaleve, the bard, looks up at me and eyes level with sharpness. Ah, travelers, you hear the kantele, the voice of our land. Wainamoinen himself, the first singer, created the first kantele from the jawbone of a great pike. Would you hear a tale of old times? Their companions sat around a small fire as the old man's fingers find the strings once more. The music is melancholic yet beautiful, speaking of endless forests, frozen lakes, and heroes long dead. Play for us, wise one. We're here for your songs. The old bard sings of Wainamoinen's wisdom, of Ilmarinen who forged the sky, of the tragic hero on Lemminkainen, no you understand like fragments. New music still tells a story of struggle, loss, and the indomitable spirit of these Northern people. I'm familiar with that real-life epic. It's been snowing for days now. The road appears to be completely passable. As I look at it, I see a small group of people approach us fast across snowdrifts. Soon a man stands where he speaks a wide grin. Seem to be in quite a predicament. But fear not, for a fair price, we'll help you return to your lands. We'll manage on our own. Stuck for 14 days. We'll do this other Escornum assert in the next episode. Ifate has been a real challenge to mentor. As much as he'd scarcely be able to string a sentence together. Still prowls around like a beast. Life indoors seems to cause him a great deal of stress. When he does decide to speak, he speaks almost exclusively in return to witness. I watch as he stands uncomfortably on two legs and motions to leave. Some of his things leave for good. Just give me one more chance. He stays. The great temple of Uppsala rises before it, its roof gleaming with gold that catches a pale northern sun. And a mass of wooden idols dominate the interior. Thor, with his hammer in the center, flanked by Odin, the Allfather, and Freyr, his legendary daemon. The air is thick with smoke from sacred fires, and a nearby grove holds darker secrets still. Bodies of sacrificed men and animals hang from ancient oaks, offered to the gods. Magnus shifts uncomfortably beside Ugoldi. A pagan priest with rune-tattooed arms approaches. He studies your face with unsettling intensity, as if reading your fate in the lines of your brow. The faithful gather around his temple, some leaving offerings of silver and mead, others whispering prayers to the old gods. This is the spiritual heart of the Svev people, where kings are consecrated and the great blood sacrifice to determine the fate of harvest and wars alike. We should move on. This place unsettles me. I nod respectfully to the Goldie and guide the party away from the temple. Some places are best observed from a distance, and the old gods are enough not to be troubled with, whether they exist or not. Just a quiet departure. We just want to get back at our camp. And we'll end this episode here. Next episode we'll do this, and do more jobs for food and money. It was a bit of a rough start, but hopefully things will turn around for me, and we'll earn more fortune and fame. And one day, we'll settle here, this part of West Francia. So we hope you people enjoyed this first episode of this new series of Normandy and the Normans. But we're still quite a long way before we get to settle there. But there's many more work to be done. But until then, so long for now.